It comes in through the gap under your door or through the window you left open on a warm evening, and by the time you notice it, it is already bouncing against your ceiling lamp in an ungainly spiral of legs and wings. The legs are the first thing you see, too many of them, and far too long trailing behind its body like loose wire. Your instinct assembles an immediate verdict: giant mosquito. Stop. Put down whatever you just reached for. Because what is careening around your light right now is not a mosquito. It cannot bite you, and it has never bitten anything in its life. Today we are going to look at this together, and by the time we are done, you will understand that the creature you have been swatting for years is one of the more harmless things that has ever entered your home, and that it is, in ways that are not immediately obvious, worth considerably more alive than dead. The creature on your ceiling is a crane fly, a member of the family Topolidae, one of the most species-rich insect families on the planet, with more than 15,000 described species distributed across every continent except Antarctica. The ones most likely to find your windows belong to the genus whose members range from roughly the size of your thumbnail to, in some tropical species, the width of your palm. What distinguishes them immediately is that trailing scaffold of legs, often twice the length of their slender body, and 2 wings instead of 4, a hallmark of the order Diptera, the true flies. That wingspan, those long legs, and their habit of hanging near lights at night is exactly why the misidentification happens so readily and so persistently. You see the silhouette. The silhouette resembles something you have been taught to fear, but it is not a mosquito. Read that again if you need to. A mosquito belongs to a different family, entirely the Culicidae, and while both fall within Diptera, the differences between them are not subtle once you know where to look. A female mosquito has a proboscis, a rigid needle-like structure evolved specifically to pierce skin and draw blood. The crane fly has nothing like this. Its mouthparts, where they exist at all in functional form, are designed at most for sipping water or small amounts of nectar. In many adult crane flies, the mouthparts are vestigial, present in name only, incapable of feeding at any meaningful scale. When researchers have examined adult crane fly anatomy in close detail, they have found that the structure required to do what you fear simply does not exist. It cannot pierce your skin. It cannot inject saliva. It cannot draw blood. The size that triggers your alarm and the danger you associate with that size are not connected in this animal. This is the part that most people find genuinely difficult to process, because we calibrate threat partly through scale. Something with a wingspan of 2 inches that spirals toward your face in a dim room fires the same alarm as something genuinely dangerous. Your nervous system does not pause to check the taxonomy. That is a reasonable system. The crane fly is simply the wrong target for it. Let that settle for a moment. The crane fly you are watching tonight may have been an adult for fewer than 5 days. Some species live as adults for as little as 2. The entire adult phase of its life, the phase you are witnessing when it circles your lamp, has a single biological function: reproduction. The female will mate, locate a suitable patch of soil or damp vegetation, and deposit her egg. The male will mate, and then he is done. Neither of them is hunting. Neither of them is interested in you. They are drawn to your light because artificial illumination disrupts the navigational cues they use to orient themselves at night, not because there is anything in your home they want. The real life of a crane fly happens underground. The larval stage, the portion of the crane fly's existence that lasts not days but months, sometimes overwintering through an entire cold season, is where the animal actually lives. The larvae, encased in a tough gray-brown skin that protects them in the soil, are decomposers and processors of decaying plant material. Aquatic species spend their larval stage in the margins of streams, wetlands, and riverbanks, working through organic debris in the sediment. Terrestrial species move through the soil of your lawn, your field margins, your garden beds. It is the steady, unglamorous business of breaking complex organic matter into forms that plants can use again, and it happens continuously, in the dark, in the ground beneath your feet, entirely without your knowledge. The birds in your garden know exactly where the larvae are. Starlings will probe your lawn with their beaks in the specific, systematic way that means they are going after the larvae. Robins follow behind turned earth for the same reason. Snipe and curlew travel to fields where crane fly populations are high. Research tracking bird feeding behavior in temperate regions has documented that cranefly larvae are a critical food source in autumn and winter, precisely because the larvae are present underground in large numbers when other food is scarce. The cranefly you are trying to kill spent months becoming the meal that brought the robins back to your lawn. And this is only one layer of what it provides. At dusk, when bats begin to fly, adult craneflies are among the insects they are taking. Spiders catch them in webs, ground beetles take the larvae. The cranefly sits at a specific position in the food web, processing organic matter from below and feeding vertebrates from above, and it does this work across seasons. In the soil and air of the landscape your house is built within, silently, continuously, and completely without asking for anything in return. No spray you buy removes that function. No trap replicates it. There is also a persistent claim worth addressing directly, that craneflies prey on mosquitoes, either as larvae or as adults, that the animal you fear is actively protecting you from the animal you actually fear. This is not true. The adult cranefly, as described, has mouthparts incapable of predation. The larva processes plant debris, not insects. The mosquito hawk label is a myth and a durable one, but the cranefly's value does not depend on this myth. It does not need to eat mosquitoes to earn a place in your home undisturbed. It has been earning that through months of soil work you never witnessed. It has been doing this for a very long time. Cranefly fossils have been recovered from Jurassic deposits. The family Tipalidae has a fossil record that extends more than 150 million years into the past, predating most flowering plants, predating the birds that now depend on them. The creature spiraling around your lamp descended from a lineage that was already ancient when the first songbird. It outlasted conditions that ended far larger, more imposing animals. And it did so by being precisely what it is, a decomposer in the soil, a link in a chain, quiet and effective and unremarkable to look at. When one comes inside, the situation requires very little from you. It is not going to damage your home, contaminate your food, bite anyone, or reproduce in your walls. It came in through your life. It will die within days on its own. If you would like it out of the house, the simplest solution is a glass pressed to the ceiling, a piece of card slid underneath, and an open door. That is all it takes. Release it outside, and it will return to the brief, urgent business of its last few days alive. If you are finding many of them dozens. Entering repeatedly in late summer or early autumn, that is the peak emergent season in temperate climates, when a full year's worth of larvae reach adulthood simultaneously. It passes. The birds nearby are eating the ones that do not find their way to your window. It is not a pest. It is a passing visitor in the last days of its life, part of a system that feeds your birds, processes your soil, and has been running without interruption since before the age of mammals. Catch it in a glass, take it to the door, let it go. If you have ever had one spiral out at you from a lampshade or send you across a room, I would genuinely like to hear about it. Drop it in the comments below and tell me where you are and what time of year it happened. I read every one. And if you want to understand another creature doing quiet, invisible work in your garden, one that most people